Namaste and welcome to day 26 of 30 days of Appwrite. In today's session, we are going to talk about JSON Web Token in Appwrite. So first, what is JSON Web Token or JWT? So JSON Web Token is a standard way to create access tokens for our applications. What happens is the server generates a token that specifies your particular user's identity and sends it back to the client. And then in every request, client sends back the JWT attached so that server can utilize the JWT to authenticate or authorize the subsequent requests. A good web JWT or well-formed JWT consists of three parts that are concatenated base 64 URL encoded strings and that are separated by dots. The three parts that it consists are header. So header contains metadata about the type of token, cryptographic algorithms that are used to secure its content. Then second part consists of payload. Payload contains the actual verifiable security statement, that is the identity of the users and permissions they are allowed. Finally, the third part consists of the signature that is used to validate that token is not tampered with. This kind of architecture proves to be very effective to modern web apps, web applications, where the user is authenticated. We perform API requests to either REST or GraphQL APIs using the token. However, it is not always recommended to use JWTs for session because using server-side sessions combined with cookies is actually more efficient and less prone to data exposure. So, why do we need JWT? The modern applications, certain parts of applications are hidden behind the authorization feature. So, unauthorized users are restricted access. This requires some authorization mechanism to validate the user's identity. In Appwrite, client-side SDKs use cookies to validate or authenticate the user. However, JWT will enable authorization of user on the server-side SDKs or server-side languages or frameworks that you use with, for example, with a cloud function or a microservice or server-side rendered applications. How can we create a JWT? From version 0.8 of Appwrite that introduced JWT, we already have updated SDKs that can generate. And right now, due to the nature and use case of JWT, only web or Flutter SDK support generation. You can see the example. In web, you can simply use appwrite.account.create.jwt. Same way, in Flutter, you can use account.create.jwt to get the JWT. And the create JWT method upon success will receive an object that consists of key JWT and the value, the actual JWT token. And you must be already logged in or authorized user to generate the JWT. Remember, the JWT will be valid only for 15 minutes and it can be generated 10 times in every 60 minutes per user account. How can you use a JWT? Using JWT is quite simple. For any server-side SDKs of Appwrite, you can use setJWT method. And this allows the server-side SDK to do actions on behalf of user without needing to log in or providing an API key. So here is an example, a Node.js script that you can use. Create a new folder and initialize a Node.js project using npm init. Now add node appwrite as a dependency using npm install node appwrite. Create an index.js file where you require appwrite. Create a new appwrite client and then new appwrite account. Then client, you use set endpoint, set project, and instead of set key, you use set JWT. This is the JSON Web Token that is generated by your client. Now finally, you can use this client to get the account of the current user account.get or perform any actions that the currently validated user can perform in Appwrite. Remember, JSON Web Tokens are only valid for 15 minutes. JSON Web Token with Cloud Functions. So in Appwrite Cloud Functions, if you remember from day 23, users can execute functions over REST API. And if the user execute cloud function, then the cloud function will be passed a JWT in Appwrite function JWT environment variable by default for the user whoever executed the function. So this way, we don't even have to generate JWT from client side and pass it around. The cloud functions handle these automatically. However, if you have your own server, if you are building a server on top of Appwrite to perform certain actions, then your client can generate JWT and send back to your server, and then your server can use JWT to perform actions on behalf of your user. And JWT with server-side rendered applications. So currently in the web, the SSR has become a popular choice for various applications. And with the release of 3.0 of Web SDK for Appwrite, it's refactored to be isomorphic. And this is important for Appwrite ecosystem because SSR or server-side rendered applications are quite popular these days. What this means is that libraries need to work in browser as well as server-side with Node.js, and that is what Appwrite SDK is refactored to do in version 3. Then we have setJWT method that is found in server-side SDK is also included in Appwrite's Web SDK. This allows developers to use the same Appwrite Web SDK for both client and server-side actions to work effectively with frameworks like Next, Noxt, and SevaultKit. So this is all for today's episode. I hope you learned how to use JWT as well as what is JWT. And the examples here, though they are from Node.js, setJWT is supported in any server-side SDK of Appwrite. So you can use the similar methods and call client.setJWT with JWT to authenticate users on your server side with a JSON Web Token. Thank you. See you again in the next episode.